Hi guys, this is me. I am going to do something a little bit different today. I decided that I am going to try my hand at hand dyeing a piece of fabric. Now I watched a video on YouTube called Low Immersion Fabric Dyeing from the online fabric store. I'll put the link below. But she seemed to have a pretty good tutorial in 3.5 minutes, and I'm going to give it a go. Because I want to do the project for Castles in the Sky, and I don't want to do it on 28 count, which is that light gray that I have. I wanted to do it on a higher count. In the sand dune, when I did the comparison between the two options, sand dune was 36 count and the light gray was a 28 count Joblin. And Castles in the Air is much smaller than I thought it would be, so I don't want it to be super tiny like it would be on the 28 count. I wanted to have a little bit of size to it. So I have a piece of 40 count white linen, just plain white linen, that I had in my stash. And I'm going to give this a go with dyeing this. I have RIT Tan and RIT Frosty Grey. Now this is actually the synthetic fiber dye, so I don't know if this will work. My husband picked it up for me at Walmart, and he picked up the synthetic fabric dye, but I would like to think if it'll dye synthetic, it'll dye natural fibers. So what you want to do, you want to start off with and by the way, disclaimer, this is the first time I have ever done this. So I have no experience whatsoever in dyeing fabric. This is absolutely, as Trisha would say, a science experiment. So it's either going to be great or it's not, or somewhere in between. So let's do this. So I have a piece of 40 count white linen, and this is a fat quarter. So the first thing you want to do, because the dye is going to take much better on wet fabric than on dry fabric, you want to immerse the fabric in some water. And right here I have a bowl of just tepid water. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's just tepid. And I'm just gonna put it in there and make sure that it's fully saturated. Move it around. Now the one thing that she did say, and I think this is the secret to modeling, which some of you may know, I didn't know. The secret to modeling is tightly scrunching up the fabric inside the bowl that you put it in, and the tighter it is, the more modeling that you'll have, because there'll be certain areas that the fabric simply can't get to. So I'm not sure. I have two different bowls that I might want to try, and I'll show those to you. I'm just not sure which one I want to use. So right now, this is the bowl that I'm looking at. We'll see. And I think that actually is the one I'm going with. Put that other bowl away. So my fabric has been completely saturated, and what I'm going to do now is just put it in my bowl. I'm going to rinse out my bowl first. Rinse out my bowl, and I am going to take this, wring it out, and really just scrunch it up. So I'm going to move this out the way so you can see what I'm doing. And the more scrunched up and tight it is in the bowl, like that, actually I do think I need a bigger bowl, because you see all this space around here? That's what's going to change how the fabric comes out. So I want it to be kind of modeled, but not like really crazy. So I'm going to go for a smaller bowl. And I'm just going to scrunch this up in here, just like so. Make sure it's nice and tight. See that? It's all scrunched up. So now I am going to boil some water. And you're supposed to boil the water, and well, not boil it, but you're supposed to get it to the point where it's almost boiling. And then you add your dye, and you pour it on. The less water you use, the more mottled it'll be. The more water you use, the less mottled it'll be. So I'm going to get my water started and I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. We're now at the point where I have water that has not yet come to a boil, but it was right about there. And you'll notice that I did decide to put it in a bigger bowl because I don't want it to be overpowering. I want it to be subtle in color and in modeling. So I figured we'd need a little bit more room, but it is still scrunched up pretty tight in there. So what I'm going to do is pour my water and try not to spill it all over the counter into a measuring cup because I want to be able to control where the dye is going. And I'm going to start with my Frost Grey RIT. And I'm really not sure how much to put in here, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and hope for the best. Golly, it comes out looking kind of black, doesn't it? It's a little scary. It really looks black. Oh, well, I'm spilling it a little bit, so it's not really that black. So what I'm going to do, am I going to pour this, guys? I want it, can you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of spooning it out because I want it to be concentrated in certain areas, and I'm scared to pour it. So I'm kind of just randomly, let me try to pour it because that's a little on the silly side. So I'm going to just pour it in different spots where I might want the modeling to be. That's what they say to do on TV anyway, right? So I'm doing that. Just pouring, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to throw that out because I have put my gray dye in there. Now I'm rinsing my measuring cup so I can go for the tan. So I'm just going to just clean up the water that I spilled. And now I'm going for the tan. Be smart, pour that over the sink. It makes a little bit more sense. And then the tan, if you can see it, it looks green, which, you know, that's fun. So, and I did shake it up very well. Well, it's coming out brown. Okay. Looks like black coffee. So let's see what we can do here. We're just going to pour it on some of these white spots that are exposed. And we're going to hope for the best. What I'm looking for is something that is tan with spots of gray. Rinse this out. I might go over those gray spots just a little bit more. You guys do realize, once again, I can't say it enough, I have never done this before. I don't know if it's right, if it's wrong, or what. I have no idea. I'm just trying things here. As Trisha would say, for science. So I'm going to go over those gray spots a little bit more. This is what we have, and I think it says to stir it or just agitate it a little bit. I think I'm a little bit afraid that it's going to be too dark, but maybe it won't be. So let's just see what we come up with, shall we? So you agitate this. It said let it sit and soak for, give or take, 30 minutes. And the more water it is, the darker it's going to be, or the less mottled it's going to be, which is fine, I guess, because I don't want it to be super mottled. I want it to be kind of subtle, with patches of tan but mostly a light gray. That's what I'm going for. So we're going to hope for the best, and I will see you back here in 30 minutes where we'll rinse and repeat. All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, we are back. This has only been sitting for about 10 minutes because, like I said, I don't want it to be too dark. So I am going to start rinsing it now. So when you start rinsing, you want to start off with warm water. First. Start with warm, this looks very green. Start with warm water. And then to cool until the water runs clear. Well, I can tell you right now, I definitely did something. I don't know what that means. I don't know if I did something light green or light gray. But I see splotches of tan. I definitely see mottling. Let's see. But it looks like, and I don't know if this is because it's dark. I'm hoping it's because it's dark. It looks like it might be a little bit darker than I wanted it to really be. As you can see. See? There's splotches of tan in there, and then you have your lighter area, so it's definitely mottled. Just a little bit nervous it's a little darker than I wanted, but that's okay. Either way, I'll do something with it. So there you have it. Now I'm going to lay it out on a towel and show you how I'm going to roll it up. Alright, so here we have it. I have it laying on a towel. This is it. It's very wet right now. So I'm hoping that's why it's darker than I would like it to be. But I'm flattening it out as much as I can. Move these out of the way. Just going to scooch this back a touch more. And you see, that's the fabric when it's wet. So I'm trying to maneuver this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start rolling it up, making sure that the fabric is not touching itself at any point in time. I'm kind of squeezing as I go to wring out as much of that water as I can. And these edges were serged, so I didn't have to do anything to treat the edges. So there you go. So what I'm going to do now, as I'm squeezing out this water, I'm going to hang it outside, I guess, because it's like 900 degrees out there. And you don't want to put it in the dryer because it'll shrink. So I'm just going to let it air dry. And then we'll see what we come up with. And I'll be back to show you. All right, bye. And here we have the finished product. And I have to say, it's pretty great. You can see the tan. I mean, it's got some, look at that. I have to say, it is great. I think it's a little darker maybe than I wanted, but it's definitely, I'm happy. Look at that. First time, guys, with good old-fashioned RIT dye from Walmart. How about that? Not too shabby. And it was super easy. I just showed you what I did. That's it. No measuring, no nothing. Just, there it is. There you go. That's it.